So I'm Leila Daw. We're here in my studio in New Haven, and my art is all around. I'm an artist. I used to be a art professor, but I gave that up a while ago. I was at Mass Art, and now I'm a full-time artist, and I love being a full-time artist. I do sometimes miss the students, but I love being a full-time artist, and waking up in the morning and knowing that I can go into the studio and work and things will happen that I couldn't even predict until I get there, and then all of a sudden I'm working and things are happening. So that's me, and that's what I do. You know, I can't remember a time that I wasn't interested in art. Probably, I grew up in West Virginia, and I was certainly aware of folk art and folk craft all around me, but I was not, I didn't do any of that per se. My current work, and when I say current, I guess I mean over the last 30 years, my current work is very much about the structure of the land and about mapping and about the underpinnings of the geology that we see, about how human beings interact with and have interacted with the land. I'm fascinated by archaeology and climate changes and ancient civilizations and ruins which happen on the landscape and how those things change the landscape. Actually, what all of those things like archaeology and ancient civilizations, what all of that tells you when you're working and you're looking at all these things, you realize that no civilization has ever been sustainable, which kind of gives you pause because here we are now, and it doesn't look like we're going to be sustainable forever either. So I find all of that really interesting, and recently I think some of my work has been taking a bit of a maybe a little bit of an apocalyptic turn, just like everybody else's work has been. And that also kind of gives you pause because artists are often predictors of the future, whether they mean to be or not. Yeah, a lot of my materials and media are from the earth, which is very appropriate for work which is about the earth. So I use a lot of natural pigments and earth pigments when I'm painting. I use, well actually there's a piece over there which I've actually applied pieces of mica that I dug out of the soil. Bits of pieces of the culture of the particular land that I'm working with are often in the work as well. So for example, when I do the Mississippi River, which is in the piece at the Fitchburg Museum now, I'm using basically trash, which I have painted and made into this sort of foil material that is, I have stores of it down there, which is basically just transformed trash in the way that rivers do tend to kind of grind up and transform trash. And that's our culture. I'm actually really thrilled to be in the landscape show at the Fitchburg Museum because it's the first show I've ever been in which I'm actually showing work with some of my heroes, like the Hudson River School painters. I mean, that's like, would you like to show your work with the people you most admire? Yeah, I think I would, you know? And that's fantastic. So I think it's a wonderful show at the Fitchburg Museum because it does show how artists have approached not just landscape, but interest in the structure of the land and how people interact with the land, all of those things. It shows how artists have done that over the past several hundred years, and that's great.